the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast, coming to you from the MGM Grand Hotel in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. The glittering city of excitement and laughter provides the scintillating backdrop for tonight's star-studded roast. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Ziegfeld Room of the Grand Hotel, some of the world's greatest entertainers are here tonight. They're in Las Vegas in person as Dean Martin honors our man of the hour, Red Fox. With tonight's guests, Joe Garagiola, Steve Allen, Abe Vigoda, Slappy White, Jimmie Walker, Isabelle Sanford, Isaac Hayes, Norm Crosby, Lwanda Page, George Kirby, Nipsey Russell, Milton Berle, Marty Allen, Orson Welles, Don Rickles, and your roastmaster, Dean Martin, with tonight's man of the hour, Red Fox.
We're all gathered at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas for the first Man of the Year roast of the new season. Before I go any further, and it could be any farther, makes no difference to me, I want to apologize to those of you who came expecting pheasant under glass. Well, we don't have that. But we got something close. Tonight, we're roasting an old buzzard. You know how every week on his show, Red looks up and yells, "I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth." He's talking to Elizabeth Ray. Red is really an American success story. Though he was born in Harlem, New York, he picked himself out of the gutter. Unfortunately, he left his mind there. Born in poverty, he didn't get his first pair of shoes until he was 11. He stole them off a wino. And Red, I want them back. Red never forgot the fact that he had to walk around barefoot. When he got his first big check in show business, Red bought himself 100 pair of shoes, and he didn't forget his father. He bought him a shoe shine kit. Raising Red in a tough neighborhood like Harlem wasn't easy for Red's mother. She was always working. In the daytime, she worked in a factory, and at night in a restaurant. She had to keep working. She was putting Red through prison. Red's a little nervous now that we have a Southerner as president. He's afraid he'll be asked to move to the back of the country. But seriously, Red, I never miss any of your shows. You're funny, especially when you put on the dress and do Geraldine. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the funniest guys in our show business, Slappy White.
Thank you, Dean. It's good to see so many brothers and sisters on the dais today. And that's one thing I can say about Dean Martin. He don't draw no color line. And in his condition, he can't even draw a straight line. But I know why there's so many black brothers and sisters up here today. They just found out there is life on Mars. And they are black. Houston reported they dug up a 10,000-year-old Cadillac and 2 payments were due. Lwanda Page. Hello, Lwanda. Red says she's so ugly, she tried to get a facelift, had to send out for a donor. She was on a USO show. She gave a soldier her picture. He put it right over his heart. He said, if it stop a clock, it might stop a bullet. Abe Vigoda. Don't you ever smile, Abe? You look at a roll A, get indigestion. Jimmie Walker sitting there, Jimmie Walker from the Good Times. Is that your lips or are you wearing a turtleneck sweater? Now I like to turn my thing to Joe Garagiola. Hello, Joe, Mr. Baseball. Do you know Joe Garagiola, Mr. Baseball? During his baseball career, he was sold more times than a slave.
Mr. Steve Allen.
The roots of the Red Fox family are seriously quite unusual. His ancestors were not, despite what you might think, his ancestors were not captured in Africa by a slave ship. They kept getting left behind. It worked out okay. They were the first black family to land at Plymouth Rock and throw it through the window of the general store. But they quickly adapted to the American way of life, and when the Pilgrims were out shooting turkeys for Thanksgiving, Red's family was out shooting chitlins. In the Old South, it was Reginald Fox who actually said to Eli Whitney, "I've seen enough cotton, I think I'll invent gin." And this man who sits here tonight, he may not look the part, but he really comes from a long line of military heroes. It was, well, you think I'm kidding. It was an ancestor of Red's at the Battle of Waterloo who shouted the immortal words, "Don't fire until you see the whites."
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite comedian and his, Mr. Milton Berle, and I love it.
I'm very, very happy to be here tonight honoring this Oreo cookie. Red Fox, ladies and gentlemen, is not your everyday run-of-the-mill dirty old man. Red Fox is not only a Negro, but he has been for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, I say the blacks have it made, because they can walk home alone at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What about the Jews?
What about the Jews? Just remember, Slappy, you need the Jews. The blacks got the rhythm, but the Jews own the instrument. But one thing you can say about Red, he does take care of his health. He does. He sits around the pool, sunning himself, trying to get the bottom of his feet to match the rest of him. Red, look at the people that showed up for you this evening. Orson Welles, one of the great actors of all times, who has done everything. Yes, you've done everything. Thank God you've never been caught at it. And, but there's something nice that I should talk about our guest of honor, and that is Red Fox. I know him a long time. He's very generous. He gave his ex-wife everything he had. But that's not much at his age. How much time do I have left?
Just keep going until you get a laugh.
I'll remember that.
And you'll also use it.
In 1951, I must tell you, he started an act with Slappy White and found out one thing: all the slapping in the world will never make you white.
Sanford and Son know Lwanda Page, better known to you as Aunt Esther. She's the only person on earth that Red Fox fears. She's so mean and nasty, when she checked into the MGM Grand today, the MGM line checked out. This is a lovely lady and a beautiful comedian, Miss Lwanda Page.
What a thrill this is. Me, standing here between Rummy and Dummy. And I heard about you, Honky. You just keep your chicken-picking hands to yourself, because I'm carrying a can of mace.
Put it on ice and I'll drink it.
Now take a good look at this man. Devil, written all over his face. Just look at it. Now, what other old man has wrinkles that spell out obscene words? When I first met this man, he told me he was a church worker. Can you imagine? A church worker, honey. That's what he said. Honey, if he ever worked in the church, it was finding new sins the preacher never heard of. To know I'm not afraid, honey. Just because I'm on your show, you think I need you. Honey, I need you like a rooster needs a marriage license. He's been after me since I was a kid back in St. Louis. Honey, he was there the night I won a beauty contest. Remember that, Red? They gave me a silver cup.
Yeah, they gave you a silver cup, all right. Keep your teeth in.
You just keep quiet, you old fish-eyed fool. You ain't no judge of beauty. You should have seen his first wife, honey. That woman was ugly.
How ugly was she?
Honey, she was so ugly, if her picture was on a stamp, nobody would lick her.
You're right, she was ugly, but there's a reason why I married an ugly girl. You see, around that time, I tried to join the Elks, and they turned me down. And I tried to join the Shriners, and they turned me down. So I figured, just to get even, I'd marry a moose.
Honey, Red didn't tell the whole story. Not only was his first wife ugly, she was cruel. She buried 3 husbands, and 2 of them suckers was alive. And when he broke up with her, he started chasing after me. After we started going together, he got me a set of wheels. He said if I cooperate, he'd go and steal the rest of the car. And I hear you whispering over there, George Kirby. You call me Aunt Jemima one more time, and I'm gonna whip your batter. Slappy, I heard some of the things you said about me. You making fun of me. That girl you go with is so ugly that she's got pimples on her watch. Honey, you see the one Nipsey runs around with? Honey, Nipsey goes around telling everybody his girl is a model for a perfume company. She's a model for a perfume company, all right, brute. And I heard what you said, Milton Berle. You keep on talking that talking, I'm gonna put that cigar where you can't smoke it. And now it's time for me to do something. That's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do in my life. Whenever anybody finishes up here, it's customary to kiss the guest of honor.
I'd like to read you some telegrams. There's people that couldn't make it here. Couldn't make it here. And here's what we... Oh. How'd all these people get in my room? Oh, this one's from a child psychologist, Dr. Spock. Yeah. Dear Red, would love for you and Freddie Prinze to co-star with me on my television special. I'm calling it Spick, Spock, and Spook. Judge Kirby is a man who can talk to you in 250 different voices, which is two more than a politician can. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Kirby.
I'm here to tell you people what a big man he is. This skinny little runt with a fuzzy head who looks like a used Q-tip. Now I'll give you an idea of what some of his very dear friends have said about him, such as John Wayne. Well, I want you to listen, and listen good, Pilgrims. You know how I feel about commie pinkos. Well, I'll tell you straight. This little bandy-legged little dude is the only hombre I know who's better red than dead. I recall a tribute the immortal Edgar Buchanan once paid Red.
Well, howdy, friend. I've watched Red Fox on Sanford and Son, and you know, and really, I mean, I don't know why they make fun of the way I walk. I mean, Red shuffles like a man who just shoplifted a dozen eggs in his long johns. And if he sat down, he'd leave an omelet.
Somebody who really respects him, Miss Pearl Bailey.
Hello, dummy. Well, hello, dummy. And don't get uppity with me, you understand me? Because if that movie we did together don't get started pretty soon, honey, Pearlie Mae is going to give you more than a roast. You're going to end up a southern fried turkey.
Red, as a surprise to you, we've flown in your former maid, Senorita Torres.
Thank you, Dean. I don't know if you remember me, but I once auditioned for you as a gold digger.
Oh, sure, you were the little blonde I patted on the end there.
No, I was the brunette you pinched in the end. Senor Red was a very understanding employer, oh yes, because we both were raised in a Spanish-speaking city, Harlem. I got my yacht job with Senor Foxx through the New York Times. I picked it up, yes, New York. I picked it up on my doorstep one morning, and he was sleeping under it. He even corrected my accent. Yes, I used to say it, si, senor, instead of yes, sir, boss. He even explained to me how to cook a Southern Spanish style. Oh, yes, for dinner he used to love chitling taco, refried grits, and chili con catfish. At night, I used to lay out his evening clothes, sometimes with him still in them. El Senor was very proud of me. He treated me just like his own daughter, especially when the men from the welfare department came around. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're beautiful. Our next guest, Abe Vigoda, has spent 2 years on the Barney Miller show. He plays Detective Philip K. Fish. If his face was any longer, he wouldn't have to wear pants. Ladies and gentlemen, Abe Vigoda.
Executives at ABC, have heard rumors about Red Fox's lifestyle. And since I am a detective with some experience, they've asked me to shadow Red Fox day and night. During the day, well, it was no problem. But at night, it was tough. It's not easy shadowing a shadow. Monday night, picked up subject at swinging orgy in Hollywood Hills. 1 a.m., party is getting wilder. Women show up, Red drinks champagne from starlet's pantyhose. Gets run in his throat. 10 a.m. On his way home, the highway patrol stops Red and gives him a ticket for zigzagging on the freeway without a car. 4 a.m., wakes up with a start, looks around the bed and realizes there's no one to start with. Suddenly, he remembers why his wife isn't there. She ran away with his best friend, George. George wasn't his best friend until he ran away with his wife. 9 a.m., decides to have a car washed, but car wash isn't open, so he takes it to paint shop and has it painted red, blue, orange, purple, yellow, green. Explains reason. In case he has accident, it will confuse the witnesses. Feels lucky, so he drives down to Watts to play him poker game. In the first hand, he has 5 aces, but is beaten by 5 kings. In Watts, 5 kings is 4 kings and a razor.
Guest is the star of Good Times, Mr. Jimmie Dynamite Walker.
I'm so glad you finally got my name straight. For a while there, they kept calling me Johnny Walker Black. If Red had a kid today, it'd be just like his old man, born with a silver spoon in his nose. They say that Red has a dirty mouth. On the contrary, his mouth is the cleanest part of his body. It's been washed out with soap so many times. Red likes to feel at home. That's how come he brings an entourage of 300 people with him at all times. It reminds him of his childhood when he lived in a one-room apartment. And you know, Red over here is a very patriotic guy. His name is Red, his hair is white, and his material is blue. And George Kirby is an all-around entertainer. He sings, he dances, he does impressions. He's known in the business as the Black Sammy Davis Jr. And Red started out doing clubs as a dancer. Bet you didn't know Red was a dancer. He didn't know either till the crowd started shooting at his feet. Then there's Red's co-star. Red insisted that he play opposite a person that have special qualities. So they searched far and wide to get Demond Wilson. It's hard to find a dull black man.
Orson Welles, besides being a producer, director, writer, is also one of the most gifted Shakespearean actors ever to grace a stage. He has appeared in Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and soon he will appear in a new play based on the Carter-Ford presidential debates entitled Much Ado About Nothing. Mr. Orson Welles.
It's a rare pleasure indeed to do honor to the star of Sanford and Son, Lwanda Page. Is it, I wonder, widely known that Red Fox once aspired to the classics? Seriously, I wonder if that's known. I used to run the old Lafayette Theater up in Harlem. I really did, you know. And I directed classical plays with black casts, and I'll never forget the day Red Fox turned up to audition for the title role in Hamlet. I still have the text, his text. For yes, ladies and gentlemen, this Nubian nebbish had brightened up the bard's best material with some of the most fragrant idioms of the street. Shakespeare, in Red's hand, had not been exactly mastered. No, Shakespeare had been mugged. And here it is, slightly edited for television. To bleep or not to bleep? That is the bleeping question. Whether it is nobler to suffer being shafted in the bleep, or to sling back the outrageous bleep they're slinging you, and by opposing the bleepers, bleep them all.
Here is Red Fox's #1 fighting protege, Kid Honky.
Which one is Red Fox? Red always bets on all my fights, and after I lost the last 3, I asked him for a contract, and he said, "Don't worry, kid. I already got one out on you." Red has me on a special diet: mustard greens, hog jaws, pig knuckles, and black-eyed peas. It hasn't improved my boxing, but hell, I can dance ring around any one of the pips. Red helps me train and he has his own ideas. We drink and we smoke and we play cards all night and we run around with broads. I ain't never won a fight, but who the hell cares? Many years ago, Buddy Hackett and Phyllis Diller had a love affair and they had a love child. I am that love child.
One of the best actresses on television, Miss Isabelle Sanford.
One thing I'll say about Red is he's never forgotten his poor boy beginnings. He has this lovely 20-room house with a private gate and a swimming pool, and he keeps the windows broken. Did you see the furniture? Authentic Louis XIV. And it all came from Louis on 14th and Crenshaw. But Red's house is laid out beautifully. It has a nice flow. All the rooms lead into a central massage parlor. The wine he served was from his own private stock, very rare. How often do you get a chance to drink industrial strength Ripple?
Mr. Joe Garagiola.
Dean, I got a biography right here in front of me, and I want to read some things about Red Fox, okay?
Yeah.
It says, Red Fox, the television star and nightclub comedian, is just the same off the stage as he is on.
Red always has been known as a blue comedian, but he has promised the network he would clean up his act.
He couldn't clean up that act with Tidy Bowl.
Did you ever hear of the picture, The Dirty Dozen? Well, Red was 7 of them.
Listen, because of his material, the government had to come up with the Clean Air Act. Did you know that?
No.
I just told you. Red Fox has recorded 49 albums which have sold 10 million copies.
I think you got that wrong.
Why?
He recorded 10 million albums and sold 49 copies.
Hey, I got a statistic for you.
Yeah?
Red Fox has been making audiences laugh for 22 years.
That's not so hot. He's been a comedian for 45 years. Joe Garagiola. Ladies and gentlemen, Nipsey Russell.
Since Red Fox came to NBC, they had to change the logo, because so many black people followed him here that the peacock was turned into a crow. While we are thinking about his good fortune, let us not forget that the man has gone through the trauma of a terrible divorce. The judge said to him, says, Mr. Fox, your wife said that you busted her lip, broke her nose, and swelled up her eye, and you say you didn't touch her. Red said, well, Judge, who you gonna believe, me or this punch-drunk broad? On Sunset Boulevard, a woman rushed up and grabbed and says, Mr. Fox, you should be ashamed of yourself coming out of that massage parlor. Red said, well, I've been in there all day, lady. I got to come out sometime. This man's talents have never been exploited.
He is a highly versatile performer and has a great background. He works in so many rough situations that today on a movie set, when the director says, cut, Red reaches for his knife. No matter what you say, what is right and what is wrong. I asked him, he said, Lola Falana is right. Lwanda Page is wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, a great musical talent, Mr. Isaac Hayes.
I want to admit I'm not a comedian, but what I'm going to lay on you people tonight is the truth. About 10 years ago, Red Fox called me and asked me to go on a tour with him. A personal appearance tour. He said I would see 25 cities in 25 days. Well, I was back then when Red wasn't known, and I didn't see 25 people in 25 days. Well, anyway, we started out on the bus the next day. Let's see now. That was Red, it was me, the 48 girls, and a 20-piece band. And man, Red packed more blacks under that roof than a white landlord. Red was driving, and naturally we got lost the first night. Because when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I could see was this gang of rednecks. And when I say rednecks, man, I mean rednecks. They were Indians. And I was scared. I said, Red, do something, man, do something. Red, we'll put on the show for them. They'll love it. Let me tell you how the Indians loved it. Before that show, I had the prettiest afro you ever seen. When we run out of money, he'd pull the bus into some little town and yell out of the window at the mayor, hey, which way is the ghetto? The mayor would say, we don't have a ghetto. And Red point to all the blacks on the bus. Well, you got one now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the master of malice, Mr. Don Rickles.
Hey, this is an exciting night, really, to see all these wonderful stars. Lwanda Page is here. Lwanda Page, a former girl that used to hang around downtown L.A. going, officer. Her case comes up Tuesday. She attacked a dead snail. Where are you sitting, Lwanda? Where's... Oh, there you are. When you get a group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I want to thank Marty Allen, who just came out from Safari. Oh, Marty Allen, the one with the spear and the safari haircut. Good luck to you. Loan it to the black guys in case they have a luau. Good luck to you, really. And keep running in front of Red's car checking for grenades. That was a good one, huh, Dean? Dean just looked up and said, my underwear's on fire. Dean puts cigarettes out in his underwear and thinks it's an ashtray, but good luck to you, Dean. I'd like to say that also, he's here tonight, Mr. Television. One of the great stars, Milton Berle, who's been my idol, but I was in a state institution for many, many years. A great, great man with us tonight, Joe Garagiola. You never can recognize him with that funny head and the catcher's mask on his face. One of the great catchers of all time, Joe Garagiola. A foul ball came back and he said, ow, ow! Nipsey Russell, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, is black. The reason you can... I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. Who cares with Nipsey? And here's tonight is Isaac Hayes. I like you, Isaac, really. I have nothing against you. I don't listen to your music. I'm too busy at home listening to Yasha Heifetz and all the Jewish stars get together trying to figure out what you do. Abe Vigoda, one of the great detectives in Barney Miller. Good to see you, Abe. I spoke to the cemetery. They ran short of dirt, so they'll bury you Tuesday. I certainly want to thank George Kirby. George, it's so good he got heavy again. George looks like a black beach ball. I've always liked George. He does Billy Eckstein, Pearl Bailey, Louis Armstrong, Joe Louis, all the biggies. Did a white guy once and bombed. And now, Isabelle Sanford. Oh, what a night to have her on the dais. My goodness. Isabelle, good to see you. When you get a minute, rinse the cups. Steve Allen, great talk show host. Steve, over here, Steve. His glasses are so thick that during the war with Japan, he was one of them. Steve is a great author, and he's married to Jane Meadows. Sorry. No, Jane Meadows is a lovely lady. I saw her out in the hall going, want an apple, sailor? Marvelous lady. And good luck to you. I think you make a delightful couple. Stay with her. She'll be in the home by Friday. Liz Torres, a Spanish lady, and you'll see her very, very shortly in her new movie called Kiss My Muchachos. Jimmie Walker's here. Dynamite! He's a fantastic guy. He's in a show called Good Times, which I never watch. Oh, I do. Once in a while, I use it for a nightlight when the wife and I want to play charades. I've always loved you, Dean. You're such a warm, wonderful guy. We've spent so many hours together watching you go into a coma. Really, Dean, you're a fun guy. I spoke to Frank Sinatra Thursday, and you will be found in a garage Wednesday. And so, last but not least, one of the great guys. You know, we make jokes about this man, Red Fox. The world does, and he's being honored tonight, and he deserves to be honored. For so many years, Red and I go back to the Slate Brothers in California, and then when he had his own club, which failed. And then he had his own nightclub act, which failed. And then he did a couple other things which failed. To be honest, I don't know why I'm here. Red's a failure. And today, you won the Major Bowes Amateur Hour, and now you're with Damon Wilson as punishment. We're going to go to ABC, great network that one time was doing... I was on ABC many, many years ago myself, and we failed because we had other shows opposite us. Red, sometimes you're bald, sometimes your hair is red. No matter how it comes out, you're a beautiful human being. I wish you luck. I wish you good things in life. You deserve them. Thank you for letting me be part of your show. You're a delightful man.
Yeah, you've been waiting for him. Mr. Red Fox.
Before I begin, I'd like to just tell you a story so I know I get one up front. It's a story about integration, more or less. It was a bus driver, and he had a bus full of kids, and they were all in the bus arguing about black and white, what was right and what was wrong, who was right and who was wrong. And the bus driver just got fed up with all the conversation about black and white, so he stopped the bus and told all the kids to get off. And he walked outside with them. He said, look, I'm tired of all this bickering about race and who's right and who's wrong, who's rich and who's poor, who lives in the ghetto, who lives in the mansions. He said, from now on, if you're gonna ride this bus, everybody's green. You got it? Everyone's green. He said, get on the bus. Dark greens in the back, light greens in the front. Well, I like to say that you guys sure worked me over tonight. I've heard Dean Martin say nicer things about Milton. Dean Martin made a special trip to be here tonight. He left the floor. And it's nice to see my friend Steve Allen here. Steve has done as much for comedy as Elizabeth Ray has done for typing. I'm glad Slappy White showed. Slappy thinks he's in big time tonight. Let me tell you something, Slappy. Being on a Dean Martin roast is as important as being a beauty mark on Lwanda Page. And Joe Garage? You were a credit to the game of baseball. Even though Joe is in television now, his first love is still baseball. I know because at 3 o'clock this morning, I saw him at a bar with a couple of bats. And Nipsey, you look good tonight. I mean, I didn't know Fruit of the Loom made tuxedos. Nipsey, I just heard they published your book of poems. Makes me glad I can't read. I'm glad that Milton Berle is here. It's a shame he isn't on TV every week. Kraft was gonna give him a show of his own, but he aged before the cheese did. But a nice thing did happen to Milton last week. They made him honorary pin boy on Celebrity Bowling. And there's my old buddy Marty Allen. I've seen afros before, but your hair looks like a pregnant haystack. And there's brother George Kirby. Really good buddy. George is a big favorite on television talk shows. That's because he can't make it on the joke shows. George is appearing at Las Vegas at the International House of Pancakes. I'm honored to have Mr. Orson Welles here, though, and I mean that with great respect. I respect him because he always is reading books. The only book I ever read was one by Dr. David Rubin. Everything you always wanted to know about sex, but he left out the most important part, where to get it. And I want to thank my maid, Ms. Torres, for being here. I understand she's Puerto Rican. I once had a Puerto Rican working for me who was my valet. He was very good at removing spots from my pants. 5 spots, 10 spots, 20. I don't know much about Puerto Ricans. I always thought Puerto Ricans were Mexicans with a job. Abe Vigoda. We don't usually get stars of your caliber on these roasts. I mean, but tonight we had to lower our standards. and Don Rickles. I mean, he's mean. I mean, he's real mean. Whenever he gets out to Disneyland, his favorite ride is the Tunnel of Hate. Don was at the dentist this morning. He was getting his fangs capped. You gotta excuse my friend, though, Isaac Hayes, for how he did tonight. You see, before Isaac got in show business, he used to be a roto-rooter man. And he just can't shake the habit of going down the drain. And of course, there's Aunt Esther, Miss Lwanda Page. 3,000 manholes in this town, and she had to drop in here. Listen, first time I met Lwanda was at a party, and she came topless. Her upper plate fell out. You just sit there, Lwanda. You work me over, now I got some things to say about you. Get a load of that face. Looked like a wedding cake that was left out in the rain. She checked in the motel last night. They gave her a room with an ugly rest mattress. Oh, before I forget, I just want to say I'm inviting everyone here on Diaz to dinner. Everyone except you, Lwanda. Have some ribs sent up to your room. They'll be attached to Nipsey Russell. Good night, everyone, and thanks again, Dean, for this wonderful roast. Thank you.